Slow moving tropical storm Sally is well inland. The sooner she gets out of the south, the better. And just as she starts to make her exit, there's another storm in the Gulf. Dave, Mother Nature leaving us with no room to breathe or catch a break.
Really, it has been one of the busiest weeks in the Weather Center, busiest 2 weeks. Sally now moving inland, and I'll show you that new spot here in just a moment in the Gulf of Mexico. Sally's still a heavy rainmaker. These are all the flash flood warnings and advisories across Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. Macon and Atlanta are watching that as the rain approaches them. Sally still has winds at 60 miles an hour, even though it's well inland, still a tropical storm. And they're still looking at 5, 6, 7 inches of rain to continue, especially Atlanta. They may have some flash flooding there tonight and tomorrow. Sally moving inland and weakening and slowly exiting. This is the spot we've been watching. We have never taken our eye off this little swirl here as it slowly drifted south. Well, now it's got a 70% chance for development. This will be the new spot that we are going to watch. Again, there's Sally, and the lines here are the surface wind forecast. Sally exit, but watch what happens with this spot down here in the southern Gulf. It moves into the central Gulf as we head into Friday and cuts off low pressure. It may become a tropical depression. If it becomes a tropical storm, Wilfred is the next name on the list. This is going to be a very complicated forecast moving into the weekend and early next week, because not only do we have a developing system here, but we've got a cold front coming in. It's a pretty strong front. Now, it doesn't have much cold air with it, but it will lower humidity in Houston going into Saturday and Sunday. And quite often these fronts block or push those developing systems off to the north and east, away from Houston and Texas. And that's what this will do, at least initially, going into Sunday. There's the system heading toward the mouth of the Mississippi River. Maybe a depression, maybe a tropical storm. However, after Sunday, this frontal boundary begins to back up to the west and it dissipates. And that might open a little bit of a passageway for that circulation to move further to the west. This is what the computer model, at least the American model, says it will look like on Tuesday, with that swirl still in the Gulf not far from the upper Texas, Galveston, and Houston coastline. So this is one we're going to have to watch carefully together over the next several days through the coming weekend. Make sure you're watching the weather at least once a day. And download the KHOU 11 app. Turn on notifications and we'll keep you posted as we go into another spot we're watching in the Gulf of Mexico. Gorgeous in Galveston today. Seas have settled down to nothing as Sally has finally made landfall. That north breeze has the allergy index very high. Elm pollen's up to 459 and that ragweed count's up to 109. Both are almost double from yesterday. So if you're sneezing, that's why. It's elm and ragweed. And locally, we've got a handful of scattered showers popping up in the heat of this afternoon. They will fizzle out as we head deeper into the evening, muggy and warm evening. Tomorrow, high temp goes up to 92, and then these afternoon storms tomorrow, it's a better chance, a 50-50 chance for thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. The extended forecast, lower humidity, a gorgeous weekend, and then we'll be watching very carefully that spot out in the open Gulf of Mexico to see if it's going to develop and eventually head our way. Very busy in the weather department right now, to say the least, Mia.